Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about improving your cadence and how that can make you a better, faster and stronger runner all round. So stay tuned, it's coming up. So let's start with what is cadence and how are we going to measure it? Well, essentially cadence is the number of steps you take per minute as you're running along. Cyclists will probably have heard of this more and use it in a lot of their training because essentially, the cyclists, where they're pedaling along, they're measuring their cadence all the time. It's the same for runners. It's that sort of turnover, the number of steps we take per minute. It's really as simple as that. And how we measure it? Well, essentially there's three main ways. We can quite simply be running along and just count for a minute, over a minute of time, count how many steps that you're taking over that minute. Most modern GPS watches will count that cadence figure for you. They'll record that data so you can have a look on Strava or Garmin or Polar, whatever your preferred platform is, and there will be a cadence figure there for you to look at. And the third way is to use a heart rate monitor. That's going to give you the real best figure. Most modern heart rate monitors, once they're paired up to your watch, will give you a really accurate cadence figure. It's just mounted sort of nice and centrally in your body, and it's going to give you a really good cadence figure there. So yeah, three ways of monitoring it. So essentially, what are we trying to get towards? Well, there's been a lot of studies into elite and sub-elite runners, and there's this real sort of correlation with this figure around about 180 beats a minute to really good marathon and half marathon performances. So that's where a lot of us are trying to get towards. So if you're more of a mid-packer, you're probably more likely to be around that 150 to 160 beats a minute. The turnover is a little bit slow, and so we're trying to get that up around that 180 beats a minute figure, for increased performance. So when we get up to around about that 180 beats a minute, you'll find, a lot of us will find our ground contact time, the amount of time our foot is spending on the ground, will be greatly reduced. And that's really good because then there's less sort of force and energy coming up through the body with every stride, and our injury risk is really reduced as well. We'll also find that our running economy is improving. We'll just be moving over the ground in a far more efficient way. Our feet are going to be landing nicely under our centre of mass, will be nice and planted with that sort of nice tripod landing, and essentially we're just going to be moving a lot quicker, a lot more efficient, and our injury risk is vastly reduced. Right, before we move on to how we're going to go about getting this higher cadence, I just wanted to have a little caveat in here that you need to look at where your cadence is at the moment. You can't suddenly jump from 150 to 180. It's a little bit like increasing your mileage too quickly. It's going to put a lot of strain on your body. So what you really want to be doing is just try by increasing it by about 10 as a maximum at a time. So if you're around about 150, try and work at 160, do that for sort of a month or so, then up to 160, 170, 180. So you can't just go out and magically flick a switch and it's going to be fine straight away. You've got to build up gradually. So when I first started teaching myself how to run, I got a book called Chi Running by Danny, I think it's Dreyer, I can never pronounce his surname. And in that, what he recommended was to go out and to buy a metronome and stick it on your shoulder or in your hand, so essentially just on your body, and you can hear it ticking over. So I went to Amazon, I bought one for around about £10, around about sort of $15, something like that. And you can just set it up to beep at a certain beats per minute. Now these are essentially sold for musicians most of the time who are trying to play their instrument in time, but for us runners they're really good and it will keep ticking over. So you can either set it for, if we're trying to get to our 180, for 180, and that will be as each foot hits the ground, but what I find a little bit easier is to set it for half that. Set it for 90, and that will just be when just your right foot hits the ground or just your left foot hits the ground. It's a little bit easier to focus on that. So yes, get along to Amazon, get one, clip it on your shoulder, and just use it every now and then when you're setting out on your runs, just to get you into the groove. And the second way you can do this is, a lot of watches these days have a metronome app sort of built into them. So as you're running, your watch can beep exactly what you set it up for. Now this can be quite annoying if you're running out on your social group and your watch is beeping away like that. So maybe do this when you're just by yourself. But again, it's really good just to set that watch up a little bit like the first one, really quick and easy to do, and you're probably going to have that already set up on your watch. Just get the manual out and see if your watch will do it. But for me, for most of my Garmin devices I've got, you're good to go. Finally, the third way to do it is to get your phone out, get into the App Store. There are loads of metronome apps out there, most of them for free, that you can download and sync with your headphones or just out the phone's speakers. And quite simply, it's just going to beep in time with how you're running. So download an app, set it up, and you're good to go as well. I've got a special fourth bonus one for you, and you can get a lot of downloadable music that is set up by some providers to be in that 180 beats a minute. So if you don't want your watch or whatever beeping away at you and you just want to be listening to some funky tunes, you can get some playlists on Spotify as well, especially, that are set up around about this 180. So it's not quite as easy to follow along as something beeping exactly in time, but you can kind of get in the flow and get in the groove. And for some of our longer runs, that's all you're going to need. So I'll link down below to a blog post on my own website, benparks.com, where you can go and you can read all of these tips here on my post, and I'll also link down there to where you can find some of that music as well. So go and check it out. And another double bonus, fifth one for you, is I've got some things we can do when we're actually out running as well. So what I'd recommend is do some strides after a lot of your easy runs. They're really good to get that turnover building and our cadence up naturally as we're running a little bit faster, and our form will improve as well. So at least sort of once a week after your easy run, get some strides in there. If you're new to strides, just 2 or 3 of those, around about 100 to 150 meters, about 90-95% intensity, and then just give yourself 30-40 seconds after each one to recover. If you're a bit more of an experienced runner, 6-7 reps of those will be really good. Also, what is really good, what I quite like to do as a little interval session every now and then, is just do some 1 minute on, 1 minute off. So 1 minute running really nice and fast, around about that 90% intensity level, then 1 minute nicely chilled out. Again, if you're new to running, maybe sort of 3 or 4 of these, 1 minute fast, then 1 minute slow, 1 minute fast, 1 minute slow. If you're a bit more experienced, then build that up to 6, 7 or even 8 repetitions of that. Really going to help improve our running form and get that cadence up nicely. So there we have it, guys, a few tips and tricks on how to improve your cadence. It really is the first thing I taught myself when I was trying to improve my running and build my cadence, and I got a lot of really sort of good gains and stuff by doing a lot of these tips and tricks in this video. And then moving on from this, once you've perfected that, we need to start improving our stride length as well. So I'll link down below to my video on how to improve your stride length as well. And combining improving your cadence and increasing our stride length is going to make us really, really faster, stronger, better, and all-round happier runners as well. And isn't that what running is all about? So as usual, guys, thank you so much. Like and share this with all of your running club mates that want to get better and stronger runners as well. That would be really great. And let me know down in the comments always what's going on in your world. Are you working on your cadence? Is this something you want to try and improve as well? And as always, let me know down there what you want coming up on the channel. What are these tips and tricks videos and what you want to see coming up as well. And of course, guys, I couldn't do this without all of your support out there. The Patreons especially enabling me to buy the kit and have the time to make these videos for you guys. Thank you so much. I'll put all of your names up on the screen now. And as usual, guys, of course, everyone that's buying the hoodies, the hats, the buffs, the plans, everything on the website, it really helps out massively. And of course, you get some great kit as well. This is all very high quality stuff that's going to help you in your running as well. So that's it, guys. We've got Frankfurt Marathon to get to in a few days, so I'm off to do some more training for that, and I'll see you in the next one.